Even if you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be night.
Yes, indeed. I'm not going to be appearing on camera today. I am in no shape to do so. I am celebrating my birthday today, and I am also very ill. I did an update the other day regarding this mystery illness that is ultimately been determined to be shingles. So I will be spending my birthday alone, but I have not been forgotten. And I wanted to just, remind people that, even in hard times and in times you're not feeling well, it makes you feel really great to have friends and family who remember you and send you well wishes. And that definitely cheered me up today. So I just thought I'd show you a few of the things I received today. Several cards here from family and friends. And for my birthday, a dear friend of mine sent me this cake from Nothing But Cakes. It is absolutely beautiful. Can't wait to try that. I love their cakes. If you haven't tried them, I would highly recommend it. Very good. And another friend sent me these cookies by design, speedy recovery, and how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 giant cookies, turtles, and then the one in the center that says speedy recovery. And these things are huge. I mean, they are bigger than my hand. I've had them before with another illness, and someone had sent me them before, so they're very good, but I'm hoping that I can freeze some of them because there's no way I'll be eating all of this anytime soon. But very nice and really thoughtful and really cheered me up today. A couple of other just little things a friend of mine sent me was delivered today from Amazon. I had mentioned, my Oral-B toothbrush was on the fritz. It had it for years, and it was finally, the battery was giving up. It wasn't holding a charge. So a friend of mine sent me this Aqua Sonic Black Series toothbrush. And I just thought that's so sweet that someone remembered something that I said in passing and was kind enough to send me that, So a very dear friend, and really appreciate that. So I will probably be trying that out and eventually doing a review on it. So, and something else someone sent me, a friend of mine, I had mentioned I had been wanting to try racquetball, and one of my friends remembered that and sent me this racquetball set with a racket and a container of balls, and I think some kind of glasses and this carrying case along with it. So I am going to have to get well so that I can try racquetball. I've been watching Cynthia Beaumont doing it now on her YouTube channel for the last week or something, or month, I should say. And it looks like a lot of fun. And I located a racquetball court in my area. So I said, well, it would be fun to give that a try. And a friend of mine remembered that and sent me that. So I am doing okay. My illness is hopefully on a good path of recovery. I was it was a week-long process trying to figure out what it was that I had, and ultimately it was determined that I have shingles, but not in the traditional way. I think a lot of people get shingles, which is a reactivation of the dormant chicken pox virus that lingers in your system decades and after you've had it. Most of us have had it as a child. I think nowadays kids get vaccines to prevent that, but for those of us of a certain age, they didn't have the vaccine at that time, so we just suffered through it. And it was always said to be something you got once in your life, and I somehow managed to get it twice. They said, well, your first time must have been a mild case. So I then got it again the next year when I was a kid. And in those days, everybody would get them in class, and it was like one after the next. So somebody was always with chicken pox. So yeah, I do vaguely remember. I think it was probably around kindergarten, first grade, that I had those two spells. And I do remember the first one being relatively mild, and then the second one being quite a bit worse, and just how miserable you are when you have chicken pox. So I'm really glad that kids now have a vaccine. Now, they do have a shingles vaccine as well. And about 4 years ago, I asked my doctor about getting the shingles vaccine because there was a big campaign to vaccinate people, and there were signs up all in the office, and I asked about it. And he said, well, you're too young to receive the vaccine. I said, well, okay. Well, why is that? Well, you have to be, in your 50s or 60s. And, insurance won't pay for it. It's going to be hundreds of dollars out of pocket. And I was willing to pay for it, but he really convinced me talked me out of it. And, I don't know that it was just a matter of him talking me out of it. I think there may have been a reason why you couldn't have it when you were younger. I don't know what that reason is, but some sort of medical reason. So I never got the vaccine, of course, and then I did get shingles. So I've kind of been isolating, definitely been isolating, certainly staying away from coworkers and loved ones. I know my parents have had the vaccine, and I believe they both had chicken pox, but, they're of a certain age, and they both have had surgeries recently and are in a weaker state due to that. And I'm certainly not going to test the reliability of the vaccine. So staying away. I've been out of work for the last, I think I worked part of the day Thursday, a little bit on Friday, like an hour or two, and then I left, and I didn't go in at all today, so I don't know when I'm going back. It just depends on how I feel. Like I said, it started with about just splitting pains in the side of my head, and those were very unusual, like shocks of pain, and they would be about every 20-second intervals. And it wasn't like a headache, it was like nerve pain. Very alarming when it's in your head. And, saw a doctor who thought it was, my cellulitis of your hair follicles, which didn't sound right, but received a prescription, started treatment for that, got no better, got only worse, and started developing swelling alongside of my head and my ear, which was even more alarming at 3 a.m. Saw another doctor that, misdiagnosed me. Finally, I found another doctor who said, no, you have shingles. I asked why they said that. We went through what led him to that. It made sense. Throughout the old medications, started on a whole new round of antiviral medications that are for 10 days. And a lot of pain medications, because I'm very fortunate not to have any of the skin lesions that are generally associated with shingles. I just have the shooting nerve pain in my head and swelling. And I recently began swelling the other night around my eye. And the one thing that the doctors were always saying is, If it begins to affect your eyes, you have to seek help immediately. Okay, I'll do that. Well, I wasn't in any mindset, I guess, to ask a lot of the right questions. So I never asked what it is particularly that I'm looking for with this eye issue that you're talking about. Are we talking about redness, discharge, itching, pain? I mean, I would assume all of that, but are we talking about if you're having lesions and something's going on in your eye? I have no idea. I started experiencing swelling all around my eye. So, okay, that sounds like an eye issue. Is that the one I need to be concerned with? So I eventually contacted the on-call doctor through my doctor's office, who helped me determine what I needed to do next, and got on another medication, so had to pick that up. It's just been one thing after the next, And of course, you can't drive when you're on the opioids for pain, so have to wait then to get the medication. At any rate, it wasn't the way I expected to celebrate my birthday, but that's life, right? So I hope everyone is staying healthy, and if you have the means, I would highly recommend looking into getting the shingles vaccine if possible. Maybe some of the recommendations have changed regarding eligibility for it, but certainly if you are of the qualifying age, I would recommend doing it, and doing it fast, because part of the reason I think this doctor in the beginning misdiagnosed me was probably due to my age and the fact that younger people generally don't get it. But I have several friends who have had it. I've learned since talking to them recently. In the past, they have had it. And also this doctor that ultimately diagnosed me said he had had several other patients in my age category come into the office of recent with what turned out to be shingles. So it's out there, and I don't know why they say, well, you really shouldn't be able to transmit it to anyone. It's more like if you have active shingles and you encounter someone who has not ever had chicken pox, then you could give them chicken pox, but you are not supposed to be able to give them or anyone shingles. So, I'm not taking any chances, obviously, and I'm just keeping to myself. But, it's something that had I been vaccinated, maybe I wouldn't have gotten it. And I said, well, what would cause this then? It just lies dormant. What then brings it about? Well, he says, a major illness. Have you had any major illnesses recently? No, I haven't. Have you, or tremendously stressful events? Oh, okay. Yeah, that explains it. Yes, I certainly have. I have had an enormous amount of stress with illnesses in the family that were totally unrelated, but just source of incredible stress. All sorts of things going on in life that I just choose not to talk about here on my YouTube channel, but it has been a incredibly stressful and difficult last year, really. And I try to keep my YouTube channel a happy place, a place where I can forget my troubles and try to have fun. So that's what I do here. So hope everyone is having fun, staying positive, and staying healthy. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's not too late. If you have, welcome to the family. I love you for watching.